What would be your plan to resolve the pension deficit currently in force for police and fire department as well as for the general employees? Got it? Nick, we begin with you.
Well, this is the one issue where I think everyone's in agreement. If we don't solve it now, this is going to be continuously kicked down the road to the next council and the next generation. The burden and responsibility will be placed upon them. So it has to be fixed now. My idea, first and foremost, is to go in and make certain we understand what the actual problem is. We have a lot of numbers out there, but no one can gather any consensus about what the actual number is. Some say 400 million, some say 800 million. Right now it's settled at around 700, but that might not be the actual answer. So first we have to figure out what the unfunded liability is. We're going to have a new city manager after this council is sworn in, and hopefully that city manager with business experience can go in with a committee, look at what the problem is and address that issue, come up with a comprehensive plan. It's looking like we're going to have to go to a 401k type plan as opposed to a defined benefit plan. But the last thing I'll stress is that I think that regardless, whether it's fire, police, anyone, everyone has to come to the table and be willing to sacrifice and put in, because this problem has to be solved right now.
Right?
Pension issue has had a lot of discussion, and Nick's kind of right. There seems to be a lot of different opinions on what the unfunded liability is. But I think if you're asking me how to solve it, you have two groups of people. You have your general employees, and then you have your police and fire. You voters allowed the police and fire to have meet and confer and collective bargaining. When you did that, you put everything as far as their benefit package into a contract. We will be renegotiating those contracts with the police in 2012, the fire in 2013. That's when you have to get into the bargaining table in an open forum. I prefer on TV so everyone can see what's being said and proposed. And I've said to both the police and fire, everything about your benefit package is on the table as far as I'm concerned. And if you are interested in continuing to have the benefits that you have now for your new hires, you're going to have to pay for them, because I think the taxpayers are paying their fair share at this point.
This pension issue is indeed a serious one, and in order to solve it, I think we have to answer three questions. What is the extent of the problem? To whom does it apply? And what can we do about it? The extent of the problem is unclear. It's 700 million unfunded in the eyes of the city, and it's 400 million in the eyes of the Employment Retirement Fund. There's also some concern about rate of return. To whom should it apply? The answer is everyone that is an active employee and is not vested. And police, fire, and general employees. What can we do about it? I would suggest that we're going to have to impanel financial experts, ask them to come up with best practices depending on the nature of the problem. This could extend from everything from defined contribution, a hybrid, which is contribution and benefit plan, and then, or if it's not an extensive problem, just making sure that the benefits are curtailed. Either way, we're going to have to address this problem because it presents a serious concern to our taxpayers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very first thing that we have to do about this pension problem is agree that it is deadly serious. I mean, people complain about and say that we really don't know how serious it is, but it's serious enough that the Wall Street Journal rates this city as one of the top 10 endangered cities in the United States. I don't want to see the city that I love become insolvent and go bankrupt. We absolutely must insist that every single constituent group that's involved in this problem come to the table, participate in the solution, and nobody, I don't care whether you call it meet and confer or collective bargaining, nobody has the right to dictate to the city what the terms of their contract will be. The city has got to step up to the plate and insist that those people and those groups most involved take part in the solution, or it will not be solved.
Well, Fort Worth's a great city. It's a fabulous place to live. We have a long history of settling our problems. We will settle this issue. Every piece of it must be looked at, from the vesting period, which is 5 years currently, may need to be moved, the retirement age, the ad hoc COLA, All of it must be on the table. We can no longer balance this on the back of any one group of employees, nor can we do it on you, the taxpayer. The liability for you, the taxpayer, is significant. We must settle this. As my children are fond of saying, everybody will have to come to the table, get creative, bring in the experts who can analyze it from outside, possibly from TCU's School of Business, who will help us work through it, get all interested parties in, and as my children say, we'll get a little skin in the game. You as taxpayers have sacrificed a long time. Now it's time that everybody made a little sacrifice. We settled this issue so our great city can move on and be open for business.